to the Speedway Tavern. What's the news today? Have a drink, have your say. All opinions here today. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Enjoy your stay. Webby, GA, and Matt are here today. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Come and have your say.
I have sometimes, no, let's be completely honest here, many times been told that I look at the Brummies through rose-tinted glasses. Well, again, with complete honesty, there is some truth to that. It's just that I prefer to find positives when talking about my team and don't name riders or personnel when criticising them. So, with that in mind, here is my completely honest thoughts on last night's performance in Birmingham. Only in Speedway. Good evening and welcome to the Speedway Tavern. How are we doing, gents?
Fine, yes.
I have to say the fart noise wasn't my idea.
No,
You're going to have to put your mic nearer to yourself, Chris. We can't hear you again.
Nope.
No. That's okay. So we've got the Speedway Nations going on at the moment. We sort of got one eye on the screen as we're talking to you guys. Hope you out there are listening to us and watching it as well and enjoying it.
Good.
There was one great thing that happened last night. I got to meet Bartok Schmarslik, and
You did, yes.
Yeah, got a great picture of me with him. So that was did the fanboy thing. What can I say? Shall we start with that meeting last night?
Well, that's probably the only place to start, isn't
Yeah.
it? So, a dream start, wasn't it?
We was in it till
Start.
8-3.
You know, a Wolves Birmingham 5-1, I should say, not a Wolves 5-1.
It was sort of a Wolves 5-1.
Yeah, I was just waiting for Porky to appear when they were when they got over the line, and that sort of set the tone. That sort of really you thought that was going to set the tone for the night.
Yeah,
Didn't you?
you
Thought
would
Birmingham
hoped.
were going to recover, were going to build on that, but right from that moment, Oxford, as soon as Oxford got themselves back in front.
There was only one team.
No, there was. I mean, Birmingham never ever. Okay. There's a lot of talk about the abandonment of the meeting. I mean, I was on the centre green for most of that meeting, and it wasn't particularly heavy round. It was just that
Really
just
fine stuff.
drizzle that just sort of soaks you,
Yeah.
doesn't it? And the meeting was over as a contest. With the best will in the world, Birmingham were not going to stage a comeback in that
No.
meeting. They were just.
They were beaten.
They were beaten. I thought they were beaten as soon as they went behind.
Mm.
That was the feeling I felt. I just felt that too many heads dropped and too many hands were being thrown up, and that's not really what you want to be seeing from the team, is it? Especially in front of your home fans. It was a decent crowd as well. I mean, obviously Oxford brought quite a few fans up from there. So, but yeah, a bitterly disappointing, and this is a bad run that Birmingham seem to be on at the moment, and
We thought this was better than last season. It's not.
that was on a par with last season. If it wasn't worse, it was marginally better. But you just wonder what the answer is, don't you? So,
Well, I'm sure that's what Nigel Tully's thinking.
Yeah. He's beginning to look quite beaten now as well, isn't he, Nigel? Unfortunately, I've seen in the last few interviews that he's done. He's obviously got a little bit of criticism for some of the things that he said. And I suppose that's just frustration, really, getting the better of him.
Just a quick one. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Well, we can hear you.
Pardon?
There's a couple of comments on a thing with those. Apparently, there's not a good crowd at the Speedway Nations. Well, I guess you would possibly expect that, given that the home team's not riding in the semi-final.
Well, it was the same in the World Cup last year, wasn't it? Any meeting that Poland didn't ride in, the crowd wasn't very good. That's the drawback, really, of meetings like this, unfortunately. I would, you would expect there would be a good crowd on Sunday. Although, of course, there might be another event that England are taking part in on Sunday night as well, possibly. So
Yeah,
that might
maybe,
affect that.
maybe we can hope. John Bird says, "Give the wooden spoon to Birmingham now." Problem is track time racing weekly, gaps race 1 week, then 3 weeks to the next home meeting. I'm not having that. It's an excuse. It's just an excuse, and other teams have the same problem. And when's the last time Oxford rode our track?
What's it?
And they rode our track very well yesterday.
Yeah.
They rode it very well. They were out in that dirt where, and there was plenty of dirt there. The only rider that came out of last night with any credit for me was Tom Brennan, because you could see he was trying how hard he was trying, and
that was a nasty off.
That was
really?
nasty.
Yeah.
That was nasty, and he, I think he's feeling the pressure a bit, if I'm honest.
Well, there's a big expectation on him now, isn't he? Because he set such a big high standard in the earlier stages of the season.
And he's in a position that he shouldn't be in.
Yeah. Because
if the other riders had performed anywhere near like they should have been, he wouldn't be riding at number 5 or sometimes number 1.
Yeah.
He just wouldn't be. I think I think the riders. I obviously exclude Freddie Lindgren from this a little bit because he's only had 2 meetings for us. But the other riders have got to take a good, long, hard look at themselves and stop blaming the track.
I do wonder towards the end of the meeting whether Freddie was maybe had one eye on the.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him
because that meeting was gone at that stage.
I don't blame him.
No way in a million years.
I don't have any criticism. I mean, he did try in heat 10, but it was getting a bit hairy.
Yeah.
I think it was heat 10. It was getting really hairy. So I don't blame him at all, given that the meeting had gone. So I just think that a lot of the riders have got to take a long, hard look at themselves.
Well, I mean, the one good thing I guess you can say is that there is a run coming up with regular fixtures at home, isn't there? Which
it's only good if we win them.
They're tough meetings as well.
They're all tough meetings. Everybody's above us.
Everybody thought Kings Lynn was going to be a home banker, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
Kings Lynn have got a bit of momentum, haven't they now? So
I really did. I really went with full of hope last night. That I thought it's going to click. It's going to click tonight, and it did for Oxford.
Yeah.
I do not like criticising my team like this. I've got to stop blaming the track. It's disappointing for me to hear. I'm being very careful what I say. It's disappointing to me here to hear a rider criticising on a live television stream the track and saying things, some of which were true, but a lot of which weren't true. I find that disappointing, and also that's airing your dirty laundry, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
You shouldn't really be doing that.
I think coming on the back of the meeting at Kings Lynn as well. I mean, that was a diabolical performance really at Kings Lynn. I mean, Birmingham just didn't turn up in that meeting.
Strangely, you should say that. Barry Young just said that.
Yeah.
Brummies didn't turn up at Kings Lynn. Well, I'm despairing. I don't know what to say. I don't know how you put this right.
It just seems an ongoing thing, doesn't it? And it's been season after season after season with Birmingham that they just seem to get to this middle stage of the season, and it seems like fans just want the season to end, and you can't keep going through that.
No.
I heard somebody yesterday criticising Nigel Tully, saying he hasn't spent enough money on the club. That's got to be the most ridiculous thing I've heard.
Yeah.
Nobody has put more investment into a Speedway club than Nigel Tully has. You certainly can't say that he hasn't put his money where his mouth is.
No,
he's put a substantial amount of money into Birmingham Speedway, and at the moment he's not getting the rewards. Maybe you could argue in some of the interviews he's possibly not doing himself any favours because he's not coming across very well. But as I say, I think that's just frustration getting the better of people.
There's got to be a change, and it's got to be this. It's got to happen before the next meeting. There's got to be a change. It doesn't necessarily have to be rider personnel, but there's got to be a change in attitude, a change in belief. It's just got to change. I think we probably do need to make some changes along the lines personnel wise, because there are. Look, I said at the beginning I don't like criticising particular and naming riders, so I'm not going to. But I have got somebody in mind. I'm really disappointed in.
Yeah,
I'm really disappointed in. And I don't think that particular person has contributed much.
I don't think
team spirit.
Yeah,
wise.
I don't think too many people were in agreement with the decision to release that Cook. I thought, with the benefit of hindsight, that was probably a mistake. I think maybe the wrong one went.
Maybe. I mean, there were things behind the scenes about that.
Yeah,
as we know, but can't say. But it was a difficult decision. However, I mean, it was a difficult decision to make, that who to go. But can we talk about something else now?
go on then. Presumably we won't be talking about Kingsley in a while last week then. So,
would there be any point? Would there be? As it's been said,
yeah.
Simon Corbett says they need to sign Huckenbeck.
Huckenbeck's having a good season. He's ridden well in this meeting from the bits that I've seen of it so far. Germany have just got a 6-3 over France, and Germany doing well in that meeting. I think they're second at the moment. See, this is another thing. We've got it on here. I wish they wouldn't keep using these drones to show the action above during races there, because I just find it disorientating.
I quite like it, but
that's just me. So.
Because you're seeing it from a perspective above them, you can. But anyway, that's by the by. Brum have 4 fixtures, no transfers after 18 matches. Well, we need changes now. Something has got to change. Something has got to be done. For 2 reasons, got to turn it around.
Yeah,
We're not going to win anything this season. Let's win some matches at home, and the other reason is because you've got to show the public that you've just got to show the public that we're doing something.
Realistically, the season is a battle with Kingsley to avoid the bottom spot, isn't it? But Kingsley at the moment have really. And don't forget as well, Kingsley have had 2 points deducted. As
yes,
well.
exactly.
So,
yeah. It's shameful.
Yeah. That was as bad as I've seen really from Birmingham last night. It really was after such a good start. It was a really, really poor performance. And as I say, I just felt too many heads dropped very quickly.
And also people blaming the track last night. Consistently very fast times.
Yeah.
Really the fastest of the season, I think.
Well, as I say, I mean, I was on the centre green for most of the meeting there, and it was pretty nasty. You know, as I say, it's not heavy rain, but it was just that fine.
Yeah, once it started coming down, the first 3-4 heats, it was.
Yeah, I mean, I should say, that was a terrific move from Bomber in Heat 4 to pass both of the Brummies riders there.
Yeah.
And, that was classic Bomber, wasn't it? That was the best race of the night by
far,
a long way. Yeah, and you sort of thought at that stage, well, even if Birmingham were going to lose, maybe there's going to be some entertaining racing, but. It wasn't really, didn't really fulfil it after that, did they? So,
hey ho. So, it's very depressing at the moment. Who have we got going on in the Speedway nations?
We have got currently Sweden and Poland in action, and Freddie Lindgren is in front at the moment there.
Okay.
And, I think it's Freddie. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, Poland tracking Dominic Cabera and Maciej Janowski in this one. Jakob Torsell obviously in action for Sweden as well, and Sweden haven't. I think they've got a bit of catching up to do on the Germans in this meeting at the moment. I haven't seen the latest scores, so obviously we'll keep one eye on this meeting as it's going on.
Well, this will be good. This will be good for them this heat here.
Yeah,
taking points off the poles.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any? Have we found out yet who's actually been named for the England team? Has that happened? The British team.
I don't think that'll be known until later in the week. I mean, obviously, 2 of them pick themselves, don't they? In Lambert and Bewley, 2 is going to get the 3rd spot.
Just from a non-speedway person who knows what he's talking about,
Can't talk about him
What?
like that.
What is the criteria for riding for England, apart
From Great Britain.
from Great Britain? What is the criteria? I mean, is it do they pick the best riders? Do they pick the riders who have performed well recently, overall?
I think you'd have to ask them, the
Right,
people
okay.
that pick. It's changed. I mean, sometimes we've had situations where it's just been favourites, hasn't it?
Yeah.
You- or you feel-
What you mean is he, although just doing what Gareth Southgate does and
Yeah.
pick his mates.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, do you find the same riders are in the squad all the time?
Well, there's a bit of a limited batch of riders that the national side can pick, obviously through quality. Obviously, you can only track 3 riders in this competition. Obviously, two riders that will race together and one as a reserve. Obviously, Buffington being out is obviously a bit of a blow. I think he. I mean, I know there was a lot of talk about whether he'd be dropped for this. I don't think there was any chance that he would.
No, I don't think
for
there
this.
was.
So is it ever the case, as in football, where you think, why has he been picked?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah, all right, okay.
Yeah.
Personally, I think Tom Brennan will get the pick because obviously he's had up to this point he's had a
A lot will
terrific season.
depend how he recovers from
Yeah.
that crash yesterday. It was a nasty little crash. There's a few comments popped up. We'll see if we can get through some of those. My rider of the week is Emil for his 6-ride maximum and superheat victory. He's disappeared. Superheat victory for Ipswich against Oxford and beating Bartok 3 times in Sunday league meeting.
Holland, yep.
That's a good shout. I'm going to go with Chris Harris because just for that move last night.
Yeah, that was terrific.
That was
That was
something-
like the
and the
Harris
fact that he
Hall,
does it
wasn't it? So-
time and time and time again. How old
Yeah.
is he now?
About the same age as me.
Oh
So
God.
he's old.
Yeah. Pete Clark says, I have to say last night's track was no different from other weeks, just wet.
No, it's too easy to blame the track, isn't it?
I'm fed up of blaming the track.
It's a cop out.
Sick and tired of it. Sick and tired of it.
If
Because-
the track was dangerous, then you could understand it. But I don't see the track being dangerous.
And, the old thing, it's the same for both teams. And the other team, week after week, the other team comes and rides our track and loves our track
Yeah.
and rides away from our riders. And I'm just not having it anymore. You've got to start looking at yourself, guys. Will Birmingham still be running next season? Only going this season because Wolves and Peterborough shut. I hope so.
Well, to be brutally honest, if Wolves were running this season, Birmingham almost certainly wouldn't be,
No.
because they wouldn't have been able to both run on the Monday night at the same time. There's again, we're probably going to have this age-old, we're probably going to have this sort of annual question again, are we? Are Birmingham going to be running next year? And it seems to be just it's year in year
Year
out,
in,
and
year
I
out,
think
yeah.
it's just dragging everybody down at the moment. Unfortunately,
I think next year is. So I heard a rumour last night. I don't know how true this is. And maybe somebody out there will tell me. But I did hear a rumour that the Greyhounds are going to be continuing next year.
I have heard that as well. Yeah,
If that's true, then the stadium's definitely available.
yep.
So that's good news in a sense. So I think we will be. Whether we'll be riding in this league or going back to the championship, I don't know. I guess that's something that has to be discussed.
So I'm confused with that. You're saying that the only reason Birmingham are running is because Wolves are not running.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, I'm not sure you're right because they have to run on Mondays anyway. All teams in that league have to run on Mondays.
2 clubs within 9 miles running at the same time.
But they have to run on Mondays or Thursdays, don't they? That's the
Why-
rule in the
why is
Premiership.
Bear in mind as well that a lot of the staff at Wolves also work at Birmingham.
I'm not saying it would be without its problems,
yeah.
but
So is there
Yeah.
a priority for who would?
Well, there wouldn't be a priority. It's just the logistical side of it, and as I say, a lot of the staff that are working at
Right,
Birmingham
okay.
also worked at Wolves at the same time.
I
And
see.
unfortunately, these people can't master the art of being in 2 places at once. So, Birmingham really were given the choice of Monday or nothing.
anyway, the thought I was going to complete was that next year, if we do race, the first time and if we race in this league, or whichever league we race in actually, for the first time for a few years, we'll know we're running
Yeah,
and can start team building at the same time as everybody else. which is now really. Let's be honest about it. That's happening in people's minds already.
Yeah.
Because we haven't had the fair crack of the whip with that one for the last 2 seasons, and that's been part of the problem with the type of riders that we've been able to sign.
That doesn't help, to be fair, has it? So
No.
obviously the lateness, and obviously then as soon as you know what your league are in, by that time everybody else is halfway down the road building their teams up. So
Who is going to win the Elite League, gents? Reg, Fen Tiger, and which?
Presumably he means the Premiership.
yeah,
That's not criticism on my part. I've only just got used to saying the Premiership myself. So I can't see past Ipswich.
I thought Ipswich were shoo-ins until they lost Jason
But all of a sudden,
they've carried on well, but
all of a sudden, Emil Saifutinov has been.
yeah,
going-
he can't do it all on his own. I don't
No,
think, can he?
but they can still.
I think the signs really in the last few weeks is that missing Jason Doyle has sort of caught up with
It's
him a little
down
bit.
to what guests they can get, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know whether they're going to even do a regular long-term replacement for him for the season. Obviously, that remains to be seen. But to me, you've got to look at either Ipswich or Sheffield again. I think they're the two sides. Oxford, I think, will be in the mix. Bellevue, I think, will be in the mix as well. But I mean, Oxford have only won 2 away matches this season. Obviously, both at the same
Both
track.
at Birmingham.
And Bellevue's and Bellevue's
And,
away
and,
forwards.
and let's just sort of go into the irony of the fact that we was able to get home and away bonus point against Ipswich.
Yeah.
That's the only. You can figure that one. I can't.
Yeah, right. When it's gone well for Birmingham this season, it's been fantastic. You know, the Bellevue meeting was one
Great
of the best
meeting.
meetings of the season. Ipswich again, terrific meeting, some terrific racing in that one. So these riders can do it. They've got to be more consistent.
22nd of July, we've got to be good by the 22nd of July because Eurosport
Coming back,
are coming to because if I was there last night, Dross.
it was awful, and it was
Yeah.
not. It wasn't just the poor performance of Birmingham. It was the fact that it was, apart from that move from Bomber, it was a poor meeting as well.
Yeah. And that attempted move by Tim Brennan took my breath away. He actually came.
Or Tom Brennan.
Tom Brennan, yeah. Sorry, Mr. Brennan. He actually, because I stand on Ben 1 with the flag, and he actually came past me, really tight into the corner, bombed underneath him, and then because of the way I stand, they sort of go behind me, so I have to go switch from that to that.
Yeah.
And look, oh, where's he gone?
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
I thought you were going to say you jumped out the way.
No, that's Martin Smolinski that used to make me jump out the way. So Simon Corbett says depends who Ipswich and Sheffield
that's
sign.
because obviously Sheffield now without Ty Woofenden as well. So for the remainder of the campaign, and that's the downside really of having some of these top riders back. Obviously, a few of them have got injured. You know, a lot of these riders now have already got the calendars already sorted, haven't they, for the season, and whether they're going to be able to add any more fixtures into them.
Particularly with the situation where you, after 18 matches, not allowed to sign anybody, which is when a lot of riders might possibly become available.
Yeah.
Robert Lambert is somebody I'd like to see riding over.
Just be interested to see which rider Robert Lambert rides for in the playoffs this season. So
Yeah.
I don't think that'll happen again.
It'll have to happen a bit sooner than it did last year.
Yes.
Because of that situation. So you think Sheffield and I think Ipswich then?
I'm starting to think Sheffield now. I thought Sheffield at the start of the season. Did I? No, I didn't. I thought Ipswich at the start of the season, yeah. But then sort of leaned towards Sheffield, then back to Ipswich. So, but you can't see beyond either of those two sides because, I think Bellevue are good at home, but I think suspect away. Same with Oxford.
So Anthony Bailey says really, really poor team management. Again, not proactive. I presume he's talking about Birmingham. It sounds like it. Not proactive enough, as has been the case all season. Somebody said to me last night, Sam Ermolenko is the Gareth Southgate of of the Speedway world. And I thought, I wish he was, because England keep winning. So,
Sam's made mistakes, to be fair, during the season, but I mean, at the end of the day, it was his first I mean, I'm biased because obviously Sam was a hero of mine growing up at Wolves, but he's he has made some sort of schoolboy errors. And I think, to be fair, he has admitted he's made mistakes as well. So,
but I do think Sam needs to come out and say, and maybe you don't. Now I'm saying this and I'm changing my mind as I say it. So what I was going to say is that Sam needs to come out and say, this is not good enough, that the riders are not performing, and stop, because he makes noises about machinery and about the track and things like that, finding reasons and excuses, I guess. And I think he needs to come out and say it's not good enough. They're not good. They're not performing well enough. But then maybe he sees it as his job as to protect the riders from that sort of criticism. And maybe he's saying that behind closed doors.
I do wonder with Sam whether maybe there's an element of still having a rider's hat on.
Mm-hmm.
That might be something that sort of is still sort of ingrained in his mind, really, having ridden for so many years.
But then so many team managers were riders.
Yeah.
And you would expect that a rider who would respect a team manager that has ridden the thing.
Yeah.
Because otherwise the criticism can always come back, well, you don't know what you're talking about, you've never ridden a bike. Which I could imagine does come back.
Oh, yeah, without doubt.
To people. Paco has the best moustache in Speedway, says Pete Clark.
Yeah, he has been on the show, hasn't he, a couple of times, Paco. He's a great character, isn't he, really? He was really popular with the crowd that season that he had at Birmingham.
I'm not sure. I think he's got the only moustache in Speedway, actually. I'm not sure.
Probably has, to be honest.
So let's turn our attention once again to the Speedway of Nations.
I think we're on Heat 18 now, to be fair.
They're cracking on, aren't they?
Yeah. David Albright says there are not many fans at the Speedway of Nations. FIM want to drop the ticket prices, would get more people in.
I mean, we spoke about this before. The
ticket prices were high. I think the fact that there's not a home team in it as well. It's obviously an off night for Bellevue. They don't usually run on Tuesdays. Of course, there's the match tomorrow. As I say, obviously England playing Holland tomorrow in the Euros. So
good luck with that.
That will affect the crowd, and of course potentially could be playing in the final on Sunday against the final of this. So, although I think this is in the afternoon, as far as
I don't think it's the same time. Yeah. I did ask that question, but yeah, the ticket prices are horrendous.
What sort of prices are they running at them?
But they're three figures, weren't
something
they?
like that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
It's a lot of money. I know there's some of the top riders in the world already, but it's a lot to fork out. I mean, I went to the British final at the same place, and the tickets were quite reasonable prices for that. But that was
the British GP. The prices are pretty reasonable, from what I understand as well. So,
yeah, that's it.
Don't know what.
I can see why the crowds are a bit.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, you imagine coming over from Poland as well. You've got a forky airfare and
hotel.
Because obviously there's no British team in this, and perhaps that's wrong. Perhaps they should.
See, this is one thing I've heard so many people talk about, the fact that there's a lot of Poles living in this country. Why don't you see them at Speedway matches? Polish fans aren't Speedway fans the same way that British fans are. Polish fans go to watch their team win and don't like it if they don't win.
Mm.
Whenever I've been to Cardiff, when you go to Cardiff and you see, fans from British clubs mixing with each other, you don't see Leszno and Torun fans mixing in Poland, or Zina, Gorofin, Gorzov. Well, if they were mixing, you wouldn't have any windows left in the glass.
It's more tribal.
That's right.
But I mean, it used to be quite tribal in the past. Even Speedway was a lot more tribal than it is now. Yeah. I mean, you've spoken about.
Apologies, yes, Simon. The final is Saturday. I'm right. Okay.
You've spoke about the rivalry between Wolves and Cradley, and mentioned a few, should we say, unsavoury incidents.
It was very intense, yes. Certainly very intense when I was going. So
we have lost that in this sport, and that's one of the reasons I think Birmingham
and Cradley was fierce as well, wasn't
it? Yes, Birmingham and Cradley.
Leicester Coventry was very fierce from what I've been told as well. So
I wonder what happened. I wonder what it was that stopped that tribalism.
I think they So I remember a comment by a British promoter which went something along the lines of, if you're going to argue, do it out on the track.
Yeah, so they can see you.
So they can see you, because But now it's like, if you're going to argue, do it over here.
Yeah.
Don't. In fact, don't argue, because we'll fine you if you argue.
What's the word I'm thinking of? Woke.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't want
That's woke's not very woke anymore.
No.
Strangely, but. Yes, so and we've lost a lot of characters because they're not allowed to be characters.
to. Whose phone's that?
Probably mine. It usually is.
Yeah, it's
Got
not
the
mine.
speaker working again. On my phone.
Yeah, it must be yours.
No, it won't. No.
It's not mine anyway.
It was you, yeah.
I thought I'd turned it off. I'd turned the Bluetooth
Unless
off.
I've
I
changed my
apologise.
ringtone.
Okay, so how are we doing for time? Shall we, while we're watching this?
Well, the Ukraine have just got a 5-4 against France. I think it was heat 19, I think. So,
Okay. Your rider of the week?
ooh. Difficult one because I haven't seen that much Speedway this week.
Including last night.
I thought Eric Riss was excellent for Oxford last night.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously knows the track anyway from that spell that he had at the club. I'll probably go for him, to be fair. Thought he rode
Okay.
very well. Obviously, Bomber for that one. Fantastic right there. So let's have a look there. Sweden. No, it's gone.
It's
Thanks,
gone.
Discovery. You've just taken the scores off the screen. So. But Sweden were winning. They were on 31 points at that time. So we're just going into Heat 19. And this one is Poland against Finland.
Oh, the finals on Saturday.
Yes.
Fine,
Yeah.
yeah, we got
Yeah,
that.
Rich Thomas has gone for Emil. I'm presuming, obviously, for that 6-ride maximum.
Yeah, I mean, that takes some doing. 7 rides if you count to the
Superheat as well.
superheat as well. I bet he was tired at the end of that night. Shame that he's not riding in this.
Well, it is a shame, but unfortunately, I don't think there's any way that they'll be featuring Russian riders in this competition anytime soon. So,
Or in any
this is,
combat. We've got the Olympics coming up. They're not going to be involved in that.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Anthony Barry says Lampard and Worrell now time to replace.
Lampard showed a little bit of fight last night,
Yeah,
I thought.
I've been quietly impressed with Victor Lambert this season. Wasn't sure about him at first, but I think as he's sort of got to grips with the tracks over here, he's got better. I think he'd certainly be worth persevering with, although, it's unfortunate the makeup of the team that he's ended up in the main body of the team. It would have been, something for him really to have been the reserve for the season, really. So
Yeah, he'd be enjoying life at reserve.
Simon Cook's gone for Ben Cook for Lesno. Okay.
Because
Yeah. There's a few new names coming up there.
it's the problem is, right, Lampard and Worrell should be replaced according to Anthony Bailey, and I'm not going to argue for or against that, which probably people understand. Who with? That's the problem. Who's out there?
It's all right saying get rid of riders.
I mean, we have got so much space in that team, points-wise.
yeah.
We could probably get rid of a reserve and get in a heat leader. We got that much space.
Darren on YouTube wants to know what's happened to Eurosport's coverage of the Speedway.
It's
in
on
That's
the-
disappointing. It's on the
yeah.
Discovery app. That's disappointing that they haven't.
So that I didn't realise that they haven't put it on the.
No, it's not on the main channels. Well, I don't know whether the final is, but I know the 2 semi-finals aren't. So,
That's,
yeah. Fred Graham said, "Remember your piece with Phil Lanning. The rivalry between Glasgow and Edinburgh can be fierce, and he loved nothing more than heated confrontations, so he could get press inches. But as you say, the sport has been sanitised. We should publicise it as an extreme sport.
yeah,
we've
I've
said
said
that.
that
Yeah,
before,
we've said
yeah.
that, haven't we?
PP has been pitiful all season. Too many P's in there. Again, I can't argue against that.
Yeah.
When you have a rider that comes in at number 1 and ends up at reserve,
Yep. And still
On merit.
and then still not performing at
they're
reserve.
still not performing at reserve, it says it all, doesn't it? I hate talking like this, but
Poland 37, Sweden 31, Germany 27, Finland 23. So at the moment, they look to be the 4 teams that are going to be. Obviously, Poland and Sweden would go straight through to the final.
I believe
that's Germany and Finland would go into a run-off to decide who gets the third spot.
I believe that's the top 3 we picked last week.
Yeah, some of us have picked. Obviously, we will get to the prediction league at some point very, very shortly, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anthony Ballard says 2 changes for Glasgow today. Haven't gone down to with the fans.
I haven't heard about this. What changes have Glasgow made? Do you know?
And Rich Thomas says signed him 10 years too late. I presume you mean Pavlichka.
Pavlichka, yeah.
Well, he wasn't exactly reliable 10 years ago when he rode for us, to be honest. But that's.
But at least he might have won a few.
To be fair, when
entertaining
he turned up, he was fantastic. You know, he produced some really, really spectacular racing that season. By all accounts, the track that he learned to race on was quite similar to Monmouth, so that sort of helped him a little bit in his development of the track. But I think towards the end, there was too many meetings. He just wasn't turning up at, and in the end,
Simon says it's all on Discovery Plus, including the final and
Speedway Nations. Yeah, that's a little bit disappointing, really, that. They can't put that onto the mainstream because, of course, not everybody's going to have access to the Discovery app. So
no.
So you can only you can pay. You can still pay for it if you're on a Sky package.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you get more coverage of obviously there because you don't get the breaks on the app, and you can sort of pick cameras to watch it from. Each rider's got a pick camera, so you can see what's happening on there. There's even a camera on Phil Morris, so you can see how much walking around he does, which is quite something. It'll be interesting if he's got a stepathon on his watch, how many steps he gets through, because he doesn't stop, to be fair, Phil. So
that's interesting. I had to pay for Discovery Plus to watch the Speedway of Nations, but it says Eurosport on the screen.
I think it is. I think that is streamed through Eurosport anyway. But it's just that it's not been put on there.
It's not on that channel.
Yeah.
It's like a sister channel essentially.
Yeah.
But disappointing if you've got Eurosport and then it's not on.
Yeah.
What do you say? What is on Eurosport that's replaced it?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Is it football by any chance?
I don't think it is. I don't think they show much football on Eurosport now. I think Eurosport is predominantly racing, motor racing. I mean, I think they had the enduro racing on a few weeks ago instead of the GP, which sort of, obviously if you like, that's fine, but
Okay, so
Piper and Stark are out at Glasgow. Is that the case, Simon?
okay,
A foreigner in.
a foreigner, yeah, same as BSB on Quest.
Yep.
Yeah. As a Glasgow fan, we have just made a couple of changes. This is from Fred Graham. Don't think they will make any difference to us making the playoffs. Matic Ivasic, Slovenian. I'm sorry if I pronounced that and I'm wrong, and I'm pretty sure I did.
Else for a minute.
Yeah. And Jason Garrett, a youthful 36, as a rising star. Hilarious. Only in Speedway. Matic Ivasic, I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's Slovenia. Yeah, I think he's ridden in a couple of Grand Prix as a reserve. So, but that's a big call for him to make the step up into racing, even in the championship. So,
interesting.
Okay.
I'm guessing they've signed the one to make room for the other. I don't know.
Should we get onto the
let's do that.
Why not do that? Yeah.
Let's do that.
Tables. Let's have a quick look at the end and see how far down the table I am. Okay, I'm sorry I can't get it any bigger.
You said that before, haven't you? So.
Said the bishop to the right. Right.
Yeah.
So I can see that Simon's on top and Matt Buck's second. That's about all I can see.
I think you should have gone to Specsavers.
Got them.
Actually, if I look at my big screen, I might be able to see some. No, I can't.
This is great radio, isn't it? Essentially, the thing the only thing that the listener wants to know is that I have overtaken you.
You are on 13th place, and I am not.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
I got a good result with
Yeah,
it. I predicted a draw.
You predicted the draw, which you've got 2 in the last few weeks, haven't you? You've predicted 2 draws. You're suddenly starting to get the
Get the hang of the draws.
yeah.
That's
So Simon Corbett 100. Simon Corbett 105. I've got 101. Gordon Gamble's had a good week. He's moved up to joint third on 100 with Kev Lilly and Rich Thomas. Brian Buck 98. Dave Twine 97. Elliot Hunt 97. Andrew Green 97. Andrew Garner 94. Nick Skippy Matthews 94. John Bird 93. Michael Harris 93. Philip Gray 93. Duncan Pemberton 91. And Dylan Spuddy Hodgetts on 91.
And the rest couldn't be bothered.
Including yourself.
Exactly.
okay. Shall we go for it? I believe it's Matt's turn to start this week.
Okay. Well, we'll start off with tomorrow's meeting, of course, which is semi-final 2 of the Speedway of Nations.
You're going to have to run through the nations for me.
I'm indeed, aren't I? So let's just amuse yourselves for a minute while I...
La, 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 la. Spain are winning 2-1, by the way.
Are they?
Are they? Okay.
Okay.
I'm glad because they're the only team that's been playing any decent
Oh,
football.
no, yeah. I've got them to win 2-1.
Okay.
Just need to stay like that for another 47 minutes.
Squeaky bottom.
And I'll
time.
win £3.
I'm surprised France scored a goal, to be honest. But was it an own goal?
I've no idea.
Because they've scored 3 goals, 2 of which have been own goals.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's France.
So,
Jeremy says. No, I do hope Spain do win that and get to the final. Against Holland.
Yeah.
It's not very
It doesn't
patriotic.
matter whether
is
it's
it?
Holland or England, does it? They're both playing the same sort of football at the moment. Why am I talking football? Stop
No,
it.
Stop it. Big crash in the Speedway Nations, apparently.
We haven't seen one.
No?
Oh, yeah, we have...
Yeah, because you can see it now, yeah.
No, I think that's Jakob Torsell, actually, that might have come off, I think.
Crash is just coming up now. And
Oh,
nasty.
it's a nasty one, that is.
Nasty. Ouch.
Both Bog's gone in after him as well, which is
Yeah.
always a...
Oh,
That's,
Yeah, a slow rider being caught up by a fast rider very quickly and bang straight into the back of him and over the top.
So, the meeting tomorrow, Australia, Denmark, USA, Czech Republic, Austria, Slovenia, Norway.
Okay.
Latvia, sorry, not Austria. I do apologise.
Latvia.
The flags are very similar, to be honest.
Okay.
I used to like flags when I was at school. So
Well, thank you for that.
that's rather interesting insight.
Put your hands up. Put your hands up if you're put your hands up if you're surprised.
I was into smoking in the boys' toilets. But there you go.
Okay, so after all that, you've got to choose your top 3.
okay, I'll go for Australia to win it.
Mm-hmm.
Denmark second. Czech Republic third. Latvia fourth.
Okay, I was just making my own predictions while you was doing that. Okay, it's up to you.
I'm going to go alphabetical. So I'll go Australia, Denmark,
Czechoslovakia would be off.
Czechoslovakia,
Don't
I'll go-
exist anymore, does it? Czechoslovakia.
Czech Republic,
and I'll go Latvia.
Okay, so I'm going to go Australia, Czech Republic, Denmark, Latvia. There we go.
Almost the same.
Okay.
Different.
Next up, we've got on Friday. We've got the Edinburgh Academy against Middlesbrough Tigers in the NDL.
Edinburgh versus Middlesbrough.
Unless you want to do the Speedway Nations 2, that's on Friday as well. Same day, but we can do this one first.
We can do this one because, we'll do this first. Just do it in the proper order, I guess.
Okay.
Pete Clark says Eurosport would rather show pro celebrity tea picking than Speedway.
Now, I'd watch that.
Yeah, you would.
yeah.
Yes, you would.
And basket weaving, of course,
Yeah.
obviously.
So it's up to you. Edinburgh versus Middlesbrough.
Oh, would be. I'll go Middlesbrough by 4.
Okay, Edinburgh by 12.
Edinburgh by 6. I'll go for on that one.
I'm going to be close on that then.
Okay, next meeting is.
Should we do the Speedway Nations 2? Because I haven't got the lineups with me, unfortunately. So
No,
Okay.
let's not do that
All right then,
because
okay.
otherwise we'll be here forever trying to search for the lineups.
Okay. All right. So next up is the return match of that NDL meeting: Middlesbrough against Edinburgh.
Okay, and it's up to me. I'll say Edinburgh by 4.
Middlesbrough by 6.
Now I'm confused.
Yeah.
I'll go Middlesbrough by 2.
Okay.
What did I argue? Someone?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Then the big one on Saturday: Speedway Nations final at Bellevue. So we'll take your. Should we go for top 4 or top 3?
Let's do the top 3 because let's be honest, we don't actually know everybody that's going to be in there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's a
nobody.
big guess.
Well, we
this
can.
one
Well,
now.
we'll say obviously people have already put theirs on. But if you predicted your semi-final wins, you can just pick them from that, can't you? So
It's your pick, Matt.
I will go for Australia, Poland, Great Britain.
Okay.
I'll go Poland, Great Britain, Australia.
Okay.
I'm going to go Australia,
Yep.
Sweden.
Yep.
Actually, no, GB, then Sweden.
Well, none of us have been very patriotic, then, are we? So.
No. Well, I hope I'm wrong.
Okay.
So, there you
Next
go.
up on Sunday in the NDL is Oxford against Scunthorpe.
Oxford against Scunthorpe. That's up to you, Chris.
I'll go Scunthorpe by 2.
I'm probably getting carried away now, but I'm going to go draw.
Okay. I'll go Oxford by 10.
Okay.
Okay, then on Monday in the Premiership, we've got Ipswich against Bellevue at Foxhall.
And that's up to you, Chris. No, so that's
That's
up to me.
you, yeah.
Ipswich versus Bellevue. Ooh, crunch match.
Mm-hmm.
Ipswich by 8.
Ipswich by 6.
Ipswich by 10.
Okay, and last up on Monday as well is Kings Lynn against Leicester in the Premiership.
That's up to you, Matt.
Kings Lynn by 4.
Kings Lynn by 8.
Kings Lynn by 10. For some reason.
Okay,
Is that our lot?
that's it, yeah.
Yeah. Schmarslik going to be fit for the final, says Anthony Bailey.
I didn't know he was injured. Did anybody else know he was injured?
Well, I think you should know. I think you should know everything.
I should know everything.
We should
shouldn't
know.
I?
We should know, really, shouldn't we?
So, based on my limited knowledge there, yes. Just looking at this been excluded for coming off after crashing into the back of it.
Well, I've got the lineup for the Speedo Nations too now. Not,
Okay.
not the rider line, but it is Poland, Great Britain, Denmark, Australia, Sweden, Czech Republic, Latvia, and Germany.
Germany. Do they win much, Germany?
No. No, not
They're,
right.
they're growing. They're growing.
They are growing,
They've
yeah,
got
yeah.
a growing there at the moment. So
I won't pick them.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna think about picking that, but it's going to be an interesting one
Yeah.
to see how that goes. Is that at Manchester as well?
yeah, I did put it on the predictions list when I posted it on Sunday. So if you want to put it on,
Rich Thomas says he crashed earlier. He'll be good. He looked okay after the crash, and he won his next race in the Canter.
Yeah.
So
You should have tried. I'm sure he would have won it on a bike as well.
dear me.
where? If it wasn't for the fact that we needed you,
It's nice. Phil needed.
apparently so. Apparently so.
Well, of course, there's a break for Birmingham, isn't there now? Because obviously Monday is the
Yep.
British Youth Championship, which was successfully staged, of course, last year. Certainly was a very enjoyable meeting. There was a couple of really good stars in there. I mean, these lads are the future stars of British Speedway, so it'd be great to.
There might be,
see
we
some
might be signing them next
people.
week.
I mean, obviously that was the first time we saw Ashton Bobbin ride, wasn't
yeah.
it? And he was really impressive in
Wasn't
the.
he just? Yeah.
He looks to have and he's done well this season, even in the top league. I think he's somebody who's got a really big future in the sport.
Won a race last night as well.
Yeah, it
Fast when he gets away.
yeah, he's a very quick starter. Oh, another nasty one there in Heat 21. Is that's just come off? Just completely lost control. I think I think that might be Norwick Bladorn that's just.
Only seems to be walking okay.
It was a nasty one. It was just like seemed to lose control going into the corner, but the race has been stopped. That was Sweden and Germany in that one. I think Sweden were first and second in that race. So
unsurprisingly,
yeah. But Simon Court says got clattered earlier, so should be okay. That was
Artax Marslick.
yeah. Okay, so there was only one. So this looks like it's going to be a 7-0 for Germany for Sweden then, because obviously there was only Bladorn. I think he just seemed to lose it going into the.
He struck.
Oh,
that was nasty.
yes. Said before that air fence is an absolute blessing, but you don't want to get trapped underneath it. Which
Caught some grip there, and
oof.
front wheel went straight up in the air, and he went straight to the fence.
Here we go. He's just gone on the outside. He just picks up the front wheel, and once you got into that position, you just can't save it, can you?
They've got nowhere to go except out.
You've just got to try and get yourself free of the bike as best as you can. So, but that was a nasty one. Good to see him up though. He's that could have been quite a nasty one for. That was the Ukrainian rider, by apologies, not the Germans. So
I thought you said you knew your flags.
I did know. Not when they got not when they got covered in muck on them. So
There was an excuse. Sound like a Birmingham Speedway rider. Right. Torsala, lucky boy there. Say that, doesn't he?
It's a good job we have an audience that know what they're talking about.
Yeah, isn't it? Isn't it?
yeah. So
Because none of us do. Absolutely not.
Because you pair haven't got a clue.
that's why we're here. So
Yeah. Yeah, all my knowledge comes from that shout box there.
that's why he spends most of the show writing stuff down, doesn't he? So he can then tell his mates that I've had a good theory. Pinched it off there, but
Taxi for book, says
Yeah.
Rich Thomas.
You can't afford a taxi. You can't.
Right then, last chance to get your rider of the week in. Get your rider of the week in now. I'm not even sure.
Have we got?
I don't,
You're supposed to be keeping.
well, they're all different riders, so
Oh, okay. So we haven't had a.
so maybe you've got to do some work.
yeah. So,
I think we had a couple. I think we've actually had two for Emil.
Yeah, I think.
Oh
we-
yeah, that's right, correct.
So-
yeah. So good.
Pete Clark says Mike has a mate. I hope so. I'm getting married later.
After this show.
Yeah. Shall we tell him there, Matt?
Anyway,
Anyway,
it's in your dining room, I've heard. Isn't it?
hey ho. Right. Well, I think we might be going to bring this.
I think so. Yeah, I can go and watch
Flag
the
geek,
second
yeah,
half.
flag geek of the week. Thanks for that. didn't work well for me a few minutes ago, though, did it, sir?
Yeah. Well, that's going to be the new competition every week.
Yeah.
Now the flag geek of the week.
Yeah,
Now,
I
did you-
know, yeah. I'll put a flag up and that has to.
Yeah, we'll do a flag of the week and see if.
Yeah, you can do.
Yeah. See if he gets. It has to be a.
Sad
speed-
thing is, I'll probably be sad enough to know it as well.
Yeah, or moustache of the week. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Who's got the best moustache?
No, you've just been silly now.
Sorry. Okay, then I'll
Okay.
get the intro going. Then.
Yes, let's do.
Yep.
So hopefully next week we'll be talking about a GB win,
Hopefully we will be, yeah.
having watched a good race at Birmingham with nobody complaining about the track.
Yeah. Obviously it'll be the British Youth Championship, so get yourself along for that. It is reduced emission, I believe, as well. So
And Rich Thomas says you're going to be revising, and I think he's right. You are a bit of a
Good.
swat. Yeah,
yeah.
the flags. I mean,
I've got the flag app on my phone actually. So.
he's not joking, folks. And on that note, we will see you all next week. Have a great week. Enjoy your speedway. Take care. Bye bye.
Good night.
Come on, England!